Donald Trump just wrapped up a disastrous press conference following Pam Bondi's horrific performance testifying before the House Judiciary Committee yesterday. Donald Trump was asked about whether he has spoken with Howard Lutnick now that it's been uncovered that Lutnick was on Epstein's island and had all of these connections and business relationships with Epstein after claiming he hadn't spoken with Epstein since 2005. Donald Trump did not handle this question well at all. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, were you aware that Secretary of Commerce visited Epstein's island, and do you continue to have?
No, I wasn't aware of it. No, I didn't. I actually haven't spoken to him about it. I wasn't. But from what I hear, he was there with his wife and children. And I guess in some cases, some people were. I wasn't. I was never there. Somebody will someday say that. I was never there. Yeah, please.
Well, Donald, you appear on the redacted files 38,000 times, potentially in the unredacted files over 1 million times, according to Jamie Raskin. And now you're out there spying on members of Congress in their searches that they're making when they were given access finally by the DOJ to the unredacted files. That's absolutely despicable. Next, Donald Trump is asked, okay, so you're not going to fire Lutnick. You support him going to the island. Okay, seems like that makes sense. Par for the course. You're all part of the Epstein class. So now a reporter says, have you fired or disciplined the person? Because you claimed it wasn't you who posted the photos and videos of apes with former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama's face on the apes. You going to fire the person who did that, Donald? Here, play this clip.
President, have you fired or disciplined that staffer who posted the video from your account that included the Obamas?
No, I haven't. That was a video on, as you know, voter fraud, and fairly long video, and they had a little piece and had to do with the Lion King. It's been very well, it's been shown all over the place long before that was posted. But that was a very strong, and I'm sure you saw it, a very strong piece on voter fraud. And the piece that you're talking about was all over the place many times, I believe for years. Yeah, please.
He said no because the video was about voter fraud. Dude, what the heck are you talking about? Oh, and then he uses the line he gave Pam Bondi by saying, it's okay, everybody. He can be racist. It's okay if you got all these connections with Epstein because the Dow is over 50,000. Remember when Pam Bondi said, the Dow is over 50,000, everybody. The S&P is over 7,000. First off, neither of that's true. It was a horrible day on the stock market today. Second, foreign stock markets are doing much better than the United States market. In any event, even if the market was doing well, okay, great. Rich people are making more money while other people are getting screwed. But here's what Trump says. Play this clip.
The Dow hit 50,000. Now it's over 50,000. And
then, as Donald Trump is getting buried in the Epstein cover-up, and the American people are clearly understanding what the hell is happening right now with the Trump regime Epstein class cover-up, Donald Trump's like, we may be going to war with Iran soon, and we're going to make it traumatic. It's going to be traumatic for everybody. Well, it's already traumatic for people here, Donald. People are traumatized right now living paycheck to paycheck in the United States. They're traumatized by masked ICE agents and Border Patrol, Gestapo, killing people in the streets and kidnapping them in their masks. So people are psychologically tortured. So your plan to cover up the Epstein files, torture people more. Play this clip.
Following your meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, has your thinking changed at all as it relates to these negotiations with Iran or the timeline with Iran?
We have to make a deal. Otherwise, it's going to be very traumatic. Very traumatic. I don't want that to happen, but we have to make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time, and they got Midnight Hammer instead. And this will be very traumatic for Iran if they don't make a deal. Look, if they don't make a deal, then it'll be a different story. But we had a very good meeting yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu. And he understands, but it's ultimately up to me. If the deal isn't a very fair deal and a very good deal with Iran, then it's going to be, I think, a very difficult time for them in the back.
By the way, look at Donald Trump's hand. By the way, did you notice his face was looking droopy the entire time? Now, if you're wondering, what was this press conference about as well? Well, Donald Trump announced that he was repealing the EPA's authority to regulate climate pollution, terminating the 2009 endangerment finding, which determined that greenhouse gases are dangerous to the public health under the Clear Air Act and underpin limits on emissions from power plants, oil, and other sources. So that's what he was announcing, that he was saying greenhouse gases do not endanger people's lives, and thus we're going to pollute the hell out of the country right now. Governor Newsom's office released a statement. The decision betrays the American people and cements the Republican Party status as the pro-pollution party. If this reckless decision survives legal challenges, it will lead to more deadly wildfires, more extreme heat deaths, more climate-driven floods and droughts, and greater threats to communities nationwide, all while the EPA dismisses the overwhelming science that has protected public health for decades. Donald Trump may put corporate greed ahead of communities and families, but California will not stand by. We will sue to challenge this illegal action. We will continue fighting climate pollution here in our state. We will continue to lead because the lives and livelihoods of our people depend on it. And here, when Lee Zeldin, Donald Trump's EPA head, who's there to destroy the environment, was speaking, Donald Trump was falling asleep. Here, play this clip.
That's what freedom and choice look like. We're restoring the rule of law. We're grounding policy in reality. We're giving power back to the American people.
Then Donald Trump brags that nobody is doing more for healthcare than the Republican Party, as you've gutted healthcare. Like, the American people know you've gutted healthcare. It's like when you say nobody's been less friends with Epstein than Donald. You're like the guy's best friend. You were the guy's best friend. Here, let's play this clip.
And Biden, and let's say Obama started it and got it rolling, and a terrible ripoff. They'll have more money to spend for health care, if you look at it. Now they can go out and spend it on something that's meaningful. And nobody's doing more for health care than the Republican Party. And that starts with the fact that prescription drugs are going to be coming down at numbers that nobody's ever seen before. They're falling. You know, we were paying the highest prices in the world by far, sometimes by 10 times more than other countries. Now we're going to be paying whatever the lowest price is anywhere in the world. We're going to be paying that. It's called favored nations, most favored nations. And I think it's the biggest thing to happen in this world, the world of medicine, prescription drugs, ever. There's never been anything like it, you know.
Then Donald Trump accused the EPA Director Zeldin's speech of being too long and boring. Let's play this clip.
Thank you, Lee. That was long, but good. It was good. Maybe I should say great. It was great. And we appreciate it.
And then more Donald Trump attacks on former President Obama. Obama, Biden, everything, just whining with these people. Play this clip.
For a lot less money. In 2009, Barack Hussein Obama, his EPA designated fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and other things that actually make factories rock and roll and other things drive very nicely as a threat to health and human welfare, known as the endangerment finding. This determination had no basis, in fact, had none whatsoever, and it had no basis in law. On the contrary, over the generations, fossil fuels have saved millions of lives and lifted billions.
Meanwhile, the government is about to go into another partial shutdown, this time the shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Senate Majority Leader Thune says the Senate's going to go home right now. Maybe the House goes home. They all stop working again. Isn't that convenient? Right as the Epstein files are being accessed by members of Congress. No more work, everybody. Congress is done, because MAGA Republicans want to make the ICE agents continue to wear masks and terrorize people and not use judicial warrants and surround polling places. And Democrats are like, nah, we need to have no masks, judicial warrants, body cameras, no polling stations. That's the fight. And so the Senate has sent the Republicans home. The House, I believe, is going to be doing the same. And that's basically where you are. And here's what AOC had to say about it all. Pablo Manriquez from the MeidasTouch Network reports. Let's play this clip.
Rights.
And you began this presidency with, know your rights trainings and things like that. In what direction do you see the movement evolving in terms of stopping these abuses that are going on in the streets?
Something that I think is so uplifting about what we've been seeing is the direct action organizing that we have been seeing on the ground. I come from a background of grassroots organizing, and I've always believed in a kind of a two-pronged approach in inside-outside organizing, and direct action has always been at the center and the beginning of helping people realize their power. So I think direct action and, of course, electoral organizing remains tremendously important. We are in this position because Donald Trump is president, the Republicans have the Senate, and they have the House majority, which really does, people think that Republicans having the majorities in these chambers just means they have more votes. It means they have control of every committee, every investigation. It means that they decide what gets voted on and what doesn't get voted on. And so who has the majorities in these midterms really genuinely does matter in stopping these wars.
There you have it. Thanks everybody for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. We're almost at 6 million. Subscribe now. Help us get there.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.